What's up, everybody? Just on time. If you didn't notice, it's your boy, and we're not late. We're not only on time, we're exactly on time. So thanks for joining us tonight for episode 80. Hopefully, this time I got it right. If you haven't noticed already, I've had a few drinks in me. I'll explain later. How could you notice already? It's too early. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here for episode 80 of Artistic Freedom. Yeah, so we have some questions coming in, of course, from Facebook and Instagram as usual. Get in the comment section, ask your questions, get spicy if you like. Hopefully you don't get banned. Unless you're my mom, you probably won't be. Tonight's a special night. Tonight's a special night because it's number 80. I don't know why that's special, but what we're going to do is we're going to fill up this glass and we're going to smoke this cigar and we're going to have a good time. So join me. Thank you for joining me. For those of you that are on here now, for everybody watching it at a later date, that's totally cool. I get that, but come on, don't be a loser. Join us live and do your thing. So what do we got here? Let's see, for our live episode tonight, I got the volume up, so you're going to hear a lot of mouth breathing. I'm just going to have to get over it. So we got some Whistle Pig, 10-year small batch. Let's do this. Here we go. What a beautiful sound. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong. Okay, so you guys submitted some questions. If you have any questions, it's just us tonight, by the way. It's just us. If you have any questions, you guys want anything answered, or you just want to hang out, you just want to join me for a nice little drink here. Let's do this. There we go. I literally cheers to the actual lens. Probably not the best idea. Oh, I can't go wrong. I hope you guys are dressed for tonight's occasion. I know I am. I kind of like when I get to do these episodes and just basically have whiskey and a cigar and hang out and answer questions and watch you guys act a fool in the comment section and just say hello. I will get to the first question right away, so you guys don't forget about the comment section. If you want answers, then ask away. But the first one coming from online is "Miss You, Friend," and there's like a kiss mark next to it too. So take it easy, Mikey. But it says "Miss You, Friend," and you know what? Facebook anonymous user, I miss you too. I did full disclosure. I did try to get Peach and the crew on here tonight, but you know, parental duties call, so not tonight. Next one, and this one looks a little bit. Oh no, I'm pre-screening it as we speak because Mikey's always in those comment sections and he's always spicy. So Mikey's asking, well, he's saying phone geeked out. Don't know why he's telling me that. What's one of the hardest things you have dealt with being a father? And no BS, good answer. Thanks, Mikey. I'm glad that you allow me to have the pressure of needing to qualify for you a decent answer. So let's do that. So the real question is, what's the hardest part you've had to deal with in being a father? I will give you my honest answer. It's probably not what you expect. Okay, so all of you being on here, you know I always love it. The show would be nothing without you. It'd just be me and talking to a completely empty room, or just over here behind the scenes. So thanks for joining me tonight. Looks like we got Brody, Kimmy. What's up, everyone? Oh man, I totally forgot my soundboard. We can fix that. Kim says, "Is it just me and you on tonight, Brody Jade? Even if it was, I'd still be delivering." Christy, what's up? Thanks for being on here. Looks like we got Dambria. I got some jokes. First one is, thanks for starting off correct. That's awesome. See who else is on here with us. I think that's it so far. That's cool. Let's have a small group chat. Tonight we won't be talking about apprentices. We won't be talking about guests. We won't be talking about any of that stuff unless you guys ask questions, but this will just be us, whiskey, and a cigar. So the question asked by Mikey on Facebook is, what is the hardest thing you have had to deal with being a father? By far the hardest part about being a father for me has so far been dealing with court systems and people who have a stake in this, or I should say a say-so in the game of parenting. It is quite unnerving and uncomfortable and very dark and scary to know that there's court systems, family court and family law, child support and custody court. That stuff's dark, man. it's dark when somebody else can decide the fate of your child. And then, of course, they always put it on you and say, well, if you guys can come up with something and agree, then great. If not, we'll decide for you. I don't think a judge should be able to decide for me. I don't think they know what the hell they're talking about, and I'm more fit for the job. So that's been the that's been the hardest part about being a parent, is really court systems for me. It's been a long time away from that said system, so we don't have to go down that path too dark, but it's been years since we've had to deal with it. Thank goodness. Found ways around it, found ways to do it alternatively. Whether the other parents agree or not or like it, I don't care. It's been nice to not have to deal with that, because I shouldn't have to ask a judge what I can do with my children. They're all pretty much moronic, if you ask me. I sat for years in courts and learned a lot about family law, court both, and child support, custody and child support both. And I'm glad I did that, but man, was it a hard education. Since everybody's in the comments saying, dang, no sound effects. See how many people said that? Oh, none. But I should still fix that, no doubt. We'll get the sound effects in. Dang Bear, thanks for sending the flags. Let's see here. So I'm going to scroll and try not to miss any of you guys, since it's just us. It's almost kind of weird. I don't think it's been just us for a while. Like if I do music, does it help? Nope, that's too epic. But it hasn't been us for a while. And so being here in the studio with just you folks is it's quite amazing. So thanks for being with me. Yeah, I don't think music's going to help, but we'll see. Maybe sound effects, things like that. Let's see, what do we got here? What's this? That's how the night's been going. Actually, the night's been going well. So anyway, there's my answer. There's my answer to that. Let's see. Gosh, Jamie, you said some jokes, so I don't see it. Let's see here. Let me scroll down. Did you know that air at the gas station used to be free, but now it costs $2.50? You know why? Inflation. That's pretty good. That's not the worst. It's not the best. I'd be made fun of if I said that, but you get a pass because you're in the comment section, and that's what you're supposed to do. Interesting. I'm not going to read that one, but nice second joke there, Dambria. Kimmy says, we have done sushi for a few years last year, and we're doing ribeye stuffed mushrooms. You guys must be having a conversation in the comment section without me, and that is great. You do that. I'm going to keep scrolling here and make sure that I don't miss anything. I'm also not reading that, Dambria. Thanks for the jokes, but some I just will screen. There we go. Dambria is saying that as a foster parent, we have to do family court all the time, and some cases are absolutely wild. That was one of the best parts about family court, was hearing people's cases and seeing people get just destroyed, get wrecked, mostly fathers most of the time. I've seen it go otherwise too, but the system is really just, man, it's evil, in my opinion. I think it's absolutely evil to ask the government to come in and step in as a mediator or mitigator for your family. It looks like No Town's on here saying, popped in to say hello, everybody. Have a good night. No Town, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Fallon's also on here. Thanks for joining us, Fallon. It's been a little while, I believe. So he says, sometimes they turn on if you walk and ask. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm missing something. So that you guys don't. Okay, so she's talking about a previous comment. I'm going to show you guys something that is coming up soon. So in case you guys didn't know, we got Ambergram and the rest of the team working on this for your viewing pleasure, for us to be part of. So if you guys didn't know about this, I'm actually going to leave this up on screen just for a second. You know what? I'm even going to play some music for you like I was trying to earlier. So I'm going to play some music for a second while I grab my soundboard, because what's this show without sound effects? So give me 1 second and I will absolutely be right back. So just read this for a second and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
There we go. What is a night without sound effects? So now that we got the sound effects back,
you are fake news.
We can rock and roll. So if you guys didn't know about this paint night, it's coming up. Tickets must be purchased ahead of time. There will be nothing available at the door. You could buy them in the shop. You can Venmo us. You can PayPal us. You can, is that even a thing, PayPal? Yeah, I use PayPal. You can Cash App us. You can Bitcoin us. You can cash us. You can come in and credit card us. Do whatever you have to do, but come in and get your tickets for said event because this is going to be fun and there's going to be some surprise visits and we're going to paint some cool shit and you guys already know what to do. It's going to be great snacks and food as well as the team being there to support your entertainment needs. Okay, let's get out of this for a second because you guys can ask me more questions if you have them, but here we go. And just for a little bit of, let's say a little bit of future news, that this is not for minors. So you must be 18 and over. Okay, so back to it. I'm just going to let that music play out for a second. Oh, and by the way, No Town, just in case you were wondering, I 100% got this for you. America, fuck yeah! Okay, Fallon says the paint night sounds amazing. That's good. You should be there. You should come with us. You should join us 100%. We're playing some music, having some drinks, and just fucking hanging out. So who doesn't like that shit? No Town Vandal says, praise God. It looks like conversations in the chat's totally cool. It looks like you guys are chatting amongst yourselves. Maybe you should do that in private. It's kind of embarrassing to do in public, but, you know, who am I? Okay, so I'm going to get to the next question. Here we go. If you guys have them in the comment sections, you know what to do, but ask away. The topic tonight is just whiskey and cigars. So if we don't have ask questions, it'll just be me smoking and drinking, and I am totally cool with that. Fallon says, need a bartender for paint night? You know, we can always use help, but we do technically have a bartender, and we have plenty of people to service and help out. But you know what? You're more than welcome to be here. We would love to have you 100%. So here we go. Next question. This is a good one. Coming from Facebook, what's your top 3 Christmas movies? Top 3 Christmas movies. I actually think this question was asked last episode, episode 79. We had Jeremy back on the show, which was super fun. If you didn't see that show, you should see it because actually our most watched live episode of Artistic Freedom so far has been Jerry Micah DeVault's episode. The first time he was on, I don't remember. I think it was like episode 47. And he has the most views on that episode so far. So you guys obviously enjoyed having him on, and it was a lot of fun. So let's take a look here. So we got Mikey saying volume's kind of low. Let's see if you like this, Mikey. And I always appreciate the audio feedback because you know what? Sometimes it just needs to get hotter in here, spicier. How does that sound?
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
I wish you guys could smell this room. Cigars, whiskey, man musk. Okay. All right, where was I? What's going on? Top 3 Christmas movies. Let's see. What is Damn! Top 3? You guys should also answer. What's your top Christmas movie? My top 3, I think, are pretty easy. Number 1, 100%, Garfield's Christmas. If you guys have never seen it, I don't know where you've been, what rock you're living under, and you know what kind of life you've been leading, but Garfield's Christmas is it, 100%. So Garfield's Christmas is number 1. I'd say number 2 is Dumb and Dumber because, yes, it's a Christmas movie. We can debate that all you want. We did it last year. If you want to do it again, we totally can. Dumb and Dumber is a Christmas movie. His name's literally fucking Lloyd Christmas. Anyway, I would say after that, man, that's where it gets hard because, like, do you say Grinch? Do you say Christmas Story? I mean, what do you say after that? Like, what movie do you have to watch on Christmas? I would personally say it's A Christmas Story. You have to watch it. You have to watch that. But it's just such a toss-up because there's so many good ones. You know, It's a Beautiful Life, Scrooge. There's just so many good ones. There's a lot of dumb ones, too. I think there's more dumb ones than there are good ones, but that's Christmas for you. Who would have thought? Marketing. Let's see here. Mike says, so much more clear. Cool. I turned up the heat for you. That's what I did, Mikey. You know what it might be? Is I'm hearing, let me see if I can do this real quick. I might be hearing the audio really hot coming from my monitors through the headphone, which doesn't necessarily reflect the actual levels. So let's do this. There we go. That might make me That might make me sound better to you. That makes no sense. Okay, so much more clear. Great. Anka's laughing at me saying, "Man, Musk."
You are fake news.
Yes, man, it smells great after a long day. You got a little bit of cologne on you. You got some cigar in your beard, a little bit of sweat, some can-do attitude. Fallon, you're saying I can't get over you smoking a cigar. Hashtag cigarette hater. Hashtag, by the way, pound sign. Cigarette hater. Cigarettes and cigars are not the same thing, like at all. It's not even close. It's like talking about the difference between sitting in my podcast room or a prison. Two totally different things. Related, but two totally different things. And one much worse than the other by far. I'm not wrong. Hashtag, I'm not wrong. Anka's saying Christmas Story for sure. I think it's a must. I think Christmas Story is one of those ones you absolutely have to watch for sure. Mikey's saying Christmas Vacation. Of course, that's super good. My only problem is it's a very stressful movie, and there's some movies that are just always stress, right? Like, I'm surprised so far nobody. Oh, yeah, we got one. Home Alone. There we go. Michelle, thanks for saying that because we are with you on that. Home Alone is fucking epic. Mikey says, but also Buddy with Will Ferrell. Also Buddy with Will Ferrell. Buddy? You mean Elf? I think that's what you mean. Fallon's also with us on that one. Brody's saying Batman Returns. Who doesn't love a little Batman? You know what I mean? Batman. Epic. Fallon says they are. I'm coughing watching you. I stopped smoking. Smoking is terrible. Smoking's so bad for you. You should not do it. Lisa Marie's on here saying just finished Home Alone. I wish I was. I really wish I was home watching that right now. Home Alone's awesome. Matter of fact, we might make this a short night tonight and go home and watch Home Alone anyway. I'm sure everybody's wrapping presents and setting up their tree and get ready for the Yuletime festivities. So yeah, maybe that's a question I have for you. Christy's saying bad Santa. A question I have for all of you watchers, listeners, artistic freedomers. What is one of your favorite Yuletime festivities? Like I always see the deers that are made out of straw. Like there's like sticks or straw or whatever, and they got the ribbon or the nose on and the bell. It's really cool because if you look at the history of that and where it comes from, it's almost all of it anyway, but especially the deer made out of straw. You see those always in like, decor and stuff at the department stores or inside of event halls and whatnot. And it has a really cool Nordic history to it, so that's kind of fun. And it's, by the way, a little hint, it's not reindeer that they used to make out of straw. Originally, it was something else. Mikey's saying random question. I always got to screen this, so I'm like reading while also screening. Random question, because it's cold out. What's the sketchiest moment you had hiking into the something with a kilt and sword? Into the Netherland? Into the what? What's the sketchiest moment you had hiking with a kilt and a sword? I'll tell you exactly what was the sketchiest moment. I want to make sure I don't let this go out. And I'm surprised because it's been smoking good so far. The sketchiest moment, well, the first one that comes to mind, Mikey, the first moment that comes to mind that was sketchy was I was actually on my way home after a really hard fucking day. My water filter broke. It was a super, super fit. If you guys have never been pushed physically to the point to where like you actually might die, like you feel like you actually physically could be putting yourself into some sort of like, I don't know, like physical anguish, some sort of shutdown, not just something hard, not sweating, not tired, not breathing hard, but something that's just like so fucking hard that you're actually contemplating whether or not you're going to make it out of this. If you've never done that, then this won't really apply to you, what I'm about to say. But one of the sketchiest moments I've ever had with a sword and a kilt up in the fucking forest was when I was walking home. I was dog tired, man, after days and days of climbing this crazy fucking mountain in 28-degree weather. I'm wearing a kilt, got my sword in my backpack. I've been out there for days. I think it was 3 or 4 days. Don't mind the ASMR. So I'm walking home, kind of towards the bottom of the mountain. There's not a soul in sight. I haven't crossed any paths, no trails, nothing. This is all cross country. So I'm in the middle of nowhere to the point to where you'd have to send search and rescue to really find me. Nobody's going to accidentally bump into me. And the sketchiest moment was all of a sudden I heard a huge noise, some sort of, it sounded like an animal running up a tree, a huge fucking animal, very close. So of course I stopped and looked around. The hair on the back of my everything stood up, and I froze, and just to be able to listen to the sound. So I finally started inching towards a safer location because I was kind of in a little bit of a ditch at the time. And all of a sudden I get to this rock. There's kind of a clearing. I literally drew my sword, which is kind of fucking badass. And it was the only protection I have. I mean, what else? What other protection do you need? I mean, these wild animals don't have guns. So I drew my sword. I had the kilt on, dropped the backpack, and I heard the sound again, closer and louder. And it was definitely a big, huge animal. I'm guessing it was a mountain lion. Yeah, because they're sneaky fucks. And I was definitely alert, and I was thinking, man, I hope this is not how I go out. If it is, I better leave a mark and let that bitch bleed, because there needs to be a nice bloody trail leading to his death so that it's not just mine. So when I'm found, you can trace his steps. That was very sketch. That was incredibly sketch. So I'm glad you asked that. That's one of them. I mean, there's lots of them, like almost dying of hypothermia before, being alone and possibly injured. That's a scary one, because if you can't get out, then you could be in real fucking danger. Running out of water, being dehydrated. There's all kinds of sketch moments, but that specific one was one of those ones. I never saw the animal, by the way, but it was definitely very, like, it was one of those moments, beautiful day, great conditions, and you just think, fuck, this is how it's going to end. Let's see here. So, so thank you for asking that question. That's a great question. Mikey's saying Easter egg in Home Alone. If you look for the trash, you can see Kevin's dad threw away his ticket when he cleaned the kitchen island. You clearly see Kevin's name on a Sharpie in the ticket. That's awesome. I did not know that. I'm going to have to look for that. Kim saying Elf, number 1. That is legit, Kim. Grinch, number 2. Okay, I see the order. Sorry. Number 2, Grinch, legit. And number 3, National Lampoons. And number 4, Christmas Story. So I think it's kind of it's a consensual moment we're having. I would love to know what your guys, if you're just jumping on here and you guys don't know, this is a Q&A typically, but tonight we're doing whiskey and some cigars and a short night probably, because I'm super looking forward. I've had a long fucking week. I'm sure some of you had too. This time of year is very eventful. Oh man, not a moment really off much at all. Okay. Tamales, and we have always put orange clove for a face. That's interesting. Mikey's saying water's so amazing when you're out in the actual middle of nowhere. Water is amazing. You're exactly right, and I always go nude. I don't care how cold it is. Middle of the winter, middle of the summer, ice cold water, warm, don't care. As long as there's nobody around, or at least no children. Danbury, this is a good lineup right here. She's saying Christmas. Number 1 is Christmas Story. And I would say that's fair. That's a great must watch, right? During Christmas. That's such a cozy movie. Who doesn't want that lamp? Number 2, White Christmas. Don't know what that is. Number 3, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Awesome. Rudolph, of course, 1964. That shit is awesome. And Miracle on 34th Street. Super good. By the way, if you ever watch Ernest Steals Christmas, it's the same thing. Miracle on 34th Street and Ernest Saves Christmas. Essentially the same movie. And I love Ernest Saves Christmas. Who, did I say Steals Christmas? Ernest Saves Christmas is awesome. Mikey says, can you flex and bust out of that shirt? I absolutely can. That's why I'm staying very still. So thanks for asking. Lisa Marie says, agree. I don't know. Maybe that means this is too small of a shirt. Sorry. I had it fitted and I've gained a bit of weight, positive weight. It's a good thing. Mikey says, yeah, but it was $165. I'm lost. I apologize if you guys have something you want to clarify there. I'd be glad to join you in this conversation you're having in the comment section. Michelle, thanks for asking. And thanks for joining us. All of you, thanks for joining us. Most memorable Xmas gift you've ever received or given? I can't tell you. I can't disclose that. This is a children's show. Oh, this stuff's good. Most memorable Xmas gift you've ever received or given? Well, I don't really know. I'll answer that in a second. Before I answer that, I want you guys to let me know, since I'll kind of fill you in. This shit tonight is the drink of choice, and it's almost out. So if Sheldon was here, we'd polish it off. Since he's not, I'll just go ahead and have a glass or two with you. But you guys let me know what you're drinking, what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're smoking, where you're at, where you're watching from, who you're with. Are you in bed watching this on the big screen? Super rad, by the way. Whenever you guys send me screenshots or I guess pictures in general of that, that's just super cool if I'm in your living room or whatever. If I'm in your bedroom, whatever. I can't really help that. But let me know where you guys are watching from. Long-time listeners, no-time callers. What's up? And most of the questions, since nobody's asking, most of the answers to all my questions could just be summed up with,
"Give me your fucking money!"
if you listen to that again, you can hear a little laugh at the end. I love it.
"Give me your fucking money!"
It's awesome. Okay. So the question was, I don't remember now. I don't remember where I was at. Okay, here. I think it was in the comments, but they keep scrolling down. Most memorable Xmas gift you ever received or given? That I've given? I mean, fuck, I don't know. I don't really care to give too many gifts. Gifts don't matter that much to me. I hate to say. I appreciate them and they matter enough, but they're not that significant to me. Most memorable Xmas gift I ever received? I'm sorry, but nothing's coming to mind. I apologize. Nothing I've even given. I don't know. I bought my daughter a cello once, and watching her so excited and then start crying really was pretty powerful. So that's the best one I've ever given, I would say. Other than that, man, I don't know. You know what? There you go. There's the answer. I believe it was for Christmas. My kids, thanks to the help of a family friend, actually gave me a hammer one time. I believe it was Christmas. I hope it wasn't my birthday, but it was a hammer and it said, "Thanks for building us a beautiful life." And I still have the hammer. I actually used the hammer and the letterings wore off, but I figured it was appropriate. So there's your answer. That should suffice. Amber Chamness is on here saying, "I love Scrooge with Bill Murray." That's a pretty good one. He's a weird dude, but I like it. Mikey's saying, "Looking fit, brother. No hating." Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I won't flex and bust out of here. Lisa says, "No, I just thought it'd be nice to see it happen." Censored. Yes, 100%. Okay, let's keep going here. I love that almost half full when it's good whiskey is always almost out. Yeah, if it's good whiskey, and you know what? From our last episode, somebody was here and they popped a cork on a pretty decent bottle of whiskey. A cheap bottle, but a bottle I enjoy. And they left the cork off. And that whiskey is ruined. That's been in here all week without love, without a cork, without a top. So it's pretty much toast. And that sucked to walk in on. I do not condone alcohol abuse whatsoever. Mikey says gifts from the heart are super powerful. Doesn't have to be anything of value. Well, value, it has to be a value for it to matter. But the value is either perceived or intrinsic. Those are the two types of value that I recognize. So it's either a value for one reason or another. This is a good question. I like this question. Nobody ever asks this question appropriately. Mikey's saying, oh, by the way, Danbury, thanks for watching me on the brink. Big screen, shout out. Matter of fact, I'm not on the sound effects, but if I was and I could give you the right one, it would be that one. So thanks for watching me on the big screen. Mikey's saying, "How are the wrists after bikes and tattooing?" The wrists are amazing. It's the neck. That's the problem when you're 6'2" and 200 plus pounds. It sucks. And that definitely sucks. But the wrist's totally good. I think it's all the cigars. The wrists are good. You know, people ask me, it's funny because, and by the way, Dambria, I apologize. So what's interesting about tattooing is people always ask me, like, doesn't it hurt after a while? But when I was in construction work, all these dudes that are sweating their asses off on roofs and ditches and holes, just killing themselves in the cold and the heat and the weather and oh man, these guys are getting it. Nobody ever asks them, you know, when I was in construction, nobody ever asked me, like, does that hurt your wrist? Does it hurt your back? What about this? They're like, oh, that's hard work. That's all they do. But they never ask, like, how does your wrist feel after years of swinging hammer? And I just think it's weird because I hold a 9-ounce machine every day, if that. And people always ask if my wrists hurt. You should save that for the men with the dirty boots in the liquor store trying to buy a beer before they go home to their miserable fucking lives, and ask them how their body feels. Those dudes are breaking themselves just so that we can live in a comfortable world and nobody gives a shit. Tangent. Although I do appreciate you asking that question because it gives me a chance to respond in such a way that next time you see a dude with dirty boots on and a broken back, essentially, a dirty, sweaty shirt, stinky and smelly and tired at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, buy him a beer, buy him a drink, pay for his food, do something, show some love back to the people that build your world for you. Ungrateful bastards. Mike's on here saying, "Sup, freak? What's up, Mikey? Good to see you here. If you have any questions, do so. If you have any dad jokes, do so. If you're just trying to be here flirting with the ladies, do so. I can't stop you. This is a public forum." Lisa says she'd 100% rather receive experiences than material items. Totally with you on that one, no doubt. She's asking, is there a top experience you have received as a gift? A top experience you've received as a gift? Yes. Wait. No. Wait. Kind of. I don't know. I don't think so. Not really. Sorry, I wish I had an answer. I visited my family once for a surprise, and we drove through the snow all the way through Oregon in the van and spent the night. Watched Garfield's Christmas in the middle of nowhere in a snow-capped area at the base of Mount Shasta, and it was beautiful. The kids were nice and warm and toasty inside the van. The heater was blasting, and I woke up to a nice, gorgeous sunrise, and I remember going outside in my skivvies and taking a leak and just looking at the sun, and it was so incredible, and I got to surprise my family later that day that we came up to visit everybody. It was really, really cool. Sorry for the graphic visuals. Through the snow, drinking a glass of whiskey. Thanks for being on here, Lena, and I appreciate you. She's saying, dashing through the snow, drinking a glass of whiskey. That's what's up. That is what's up.
No, God!
Mike says, cook with that whiskey. Man, okay, getting spicy. Make a roast or something out with it. Financial value, I mean. Mikey, I don't know if that was attached to the question. Sorry, I'm going through a lot of these. I've had a lot on my brain all night, so if I'm skipping some of these and not addressing them, pardon me. For all 14 of you watching this, I appreciate you. But the problem is, it just turned 15. The problem is I only have 12 thumbs ups, and I only have 8 hearts. It should be 15 hearts and 15 thumbs ups. So let's get those. Let's get those going.
That's what she said.
These nuts.
Let's go. Thumbs up.
Got
Hearts.
him.
Lenore's doing it right.
Got
She's
it.
sending the flag. She knows what to do. Damn, Rhea, that's adorable. Thanks for saying that. Okay. Mikey said, my dad stopped airbrushing from carpal tunnel. Forgive me if I didn't spell that correct. No problem. I know that stuff can, anything can destroy you. And I that's why I said I appreciate your question, because no doubt tattooing can, and any job, typing, sitting here talking to you guys on a computer for 20 years can have an effect on you physically. I just think there's just other people that just really break their backs and never get the recognition. So I like to just shovel it right off, just kind of deflect it from me because I don't deserve it, and give it to them. If carpal tunnel, fine. If it happens to me, whatever. If it breaks my neck, whatever, rip it off. I have another one. Wait, no, that's a wrist. I have 2 wrists. I don't have 2 necks. Okay, Amber says, Christmas is about giving, and I totally agree with you. Mikey says, I got a spicy one. You want it? Mikey, does a bear shit in the woods, Mikey?
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
Also, I'm really glad that we got Michelle on here. Michelle, if you're watching, wherever you are, can you do me a favor? Let Linda know that I'm thinking about her. I always am. And last episode, I appreciate you guys watching, but unfortunately, I did not say anything to Linda. I believe I didn't. So if you're watching and I didn't, and you caught that, good on you, bad on me. But this time, I'm going to make it up twice, because Linda, if you're out there, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, you're amazing. Michelle, thanks for joining us. Okay. That's an answer. A beautiful experience with your family. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. See, it's crazy because you ask these types of questions and people will let you know that it's usually not the big things. It's the small things that really matter. And that's really cool, because it just shows that we can all impact each other in a positive way, because we all can all of us can join in And, you know, it's a good thing people aren't saying, oh man, the best thing I ever had was like somebody got me a mansion and a Ferrari and a fucking trip to Fiji. It's like, dude, most of us can't do that. So, you know, that sucks if that's like the biggest thing in your life that you appreciate. But it's always the small things, which is cool because it's good news that we can all participate. Whether you're rich or poor. You poor fucks. I'm feeling feisty. B Barkus is on here. What's up, Barkus? Getting those flags, and I love to see you on here, and I appreciate you. Glad you're still with us, and I mean that in spirit and in body. I'm glad you're not died. It's good to have you. Is that too sensitive, Barkus? Let me know, because I know you're not. I mean, you're a sensitive gal, so I don't know if you can handle that. But we almost lost Barkus. At least it was really hard on me. I don't know if it was as hard on her as it was for me, but Barkus, I'm glad you're still with us, and that our projects can continue. It's good to see you. Denver is asking, how are you spending this Christmas, Josh? Spending it wisely, Denver. Thanks for asking. Very wisely. With family, with kids, with friends. Stuffing stockings, hanging around the tree. Just hang out with the kids. Mikey said, glad to hear your wrists aren't crackling and crunchy. Dude, I'm lucky. My wrists are fucking strong as shit. I don't know. I don't know what it's from. I think I blame it a lot actually on, so when I used to work in construction and tattoo, I will tell you right now, that shit beat me up. So I remember one time, if I haven't told you guys this already, I had to tie my actual tattoo machine to my wrist, to my hand one time, because back in the day, my kids were little, I was working my ass off and tattooing, trying to make a dream come true, doing it all at once. And I dropped my machine for the first time, and my wrist hurt so bad, and I couldn't hang on to this 9-ounce tiny little thing after a long day of work. And I dropped it. My hand was just killing me. I was in such bad shape at the time. Physically, I was just beat down and tired, hence the sympathy earlier. So I took some gauze and some medical tape and tied it to my hand so that at least I didn't drop it. And I continued tattooing. I never even showed the person because it was on their back, so they didn't catch it. Probably would have freaked them out. But that's how dedicated I was, and I'm proud I did it because now I can look back and go, dude, that's pretty fucking rad. But anyway, saying that my wrists aren't crunchy and cracky, I'm fucking glad that they aren't either. And I blame a lot of it on literally just if you don't use it, you lose it. You got to stay physically, mentally, and emotionally, spiritually in shape, guys. Otherwise, it's going to catch up to you, and you're probably going to lie to yourself about what it is and just play a victim like most people do. Hopefully you don't. I know my peeps on here won't, because most of us are like that. But don't be a victim. Be proactive in your life. Make your life the best you can be, and stop being a wussy about it. Mikey, I'm not pointing you or anybody else out, but just saying it's good advice. Keep this thing lit. I'm doing a terrible job at it. I think it might have something to do with this room. I think I actually might need a little more direction with my humidor, just because I think what's happening is this room gets so dry. I mean, it is the valley. It's easy to do. So I think I'm going to buy one of those little fridge/humidor environments so that I can actually keep these things nice and toasty. Actually, nice and humid. Technically, it's what a humidor does. There we go. Mikey says, weird dream I had? I don't know. Let's see. It's kind of funny. What's some Christmas meal snacks dishes you make? Me? Are you asking me what are some Christmas meal snacks dishes you make? Nothing. Eggnog and whiskey. That's all I got for you. Brody says, memories are the best gifts, and I totally agree. I think everybody agrees. I think if you could trade the best gifts for the best memories, you would always pick the memories first. Amber saying, thanks for giving me my best gift of having my son's face on my arm. Well, awesome. I'm glad I could do that for you, and I hope it still looks awesome to date. When are you looking to drive back? That black Lambo. When are you looking to drive that black Lambo? Did you feel like this is worth $160K? Fuck, let's have that conversation for a second. First, let me get my lighter. Don't look at my crotch. Literally, all of you looked at my crotch. Perverts. Man, you need to get a life. So, thanks for joining this creepy, tattooed, bearded, old geezer man smoking a cigar and whiskey in his own little, hideout. So, it seems like I have friends, and I appreciate you guys, all of you. And I hope that you all have a wonderful family. I'm just stalling why. family. Oh, a wonderful Christmas with your family. I'm just stalling right now while I toast my cigar a little more so I can keep this bad boy going. If you guys are wondering, it's a Isla del Sol, and it is wonderful. And I don't want it to go out. Okay, there we go. What a night. I actually went to my first mixer tonight for the city, the Clovis Chamber of Commerce. Proud me. Yay. Thanks for Amber pushing me. She does that a lot. Okay. So Mikey's saying, when you going to drive that black Lambo? Did you feel like it's worth 160? Dude, it's more. I think it's more than that. It's like 170 to 2 something. Like it depends on the Hurricane model, but Hurricane model, it could be upwards of two plus. So it's a very expensive car. But you're asking, is it worth? Did you feel like it's worth it, dude? 100%. 100%. I want to tell you right now, if I ever drove a Lambo, especially a newer one with 900 plus horsepower, in a car that weighs nothing, like weighs that of like a motorcycle, really, almost damn near. Dude, fuck, man, I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have one in my garage, my own personal Lambo. I don't want to just have to borrow a friend's. Although I appreciate being able to. It's something I will own, Mikey. That's a good question because I will tell you this: people will tell you all the time, it's not about money, it's not about things, and you're right. You're right. It's not. Life is not about those things. But when you have everything else in your life, you have love, you have relationships, you have health, you have your wits to you, you have a good business, you got some finance going, you got everything going for you, right? I got great kids, I got a great family, great friends. Mikey's been a longtime friend ever since I can remember, like a little brother to me. Got Barkus with us, all you guys on here. My life is really fucking incredible if you can't tell. Aside from all the sarcasm and banter, my life's incredible and has been an absolute wild ride. And I think I've lived 100 lifetimes so far. So to me, just owning those types of things and having financial goals in regards to it is just a little bit of extra. It's a little icing on the top. It's not really the meat and potatoes, but it's just a little extra. And so getting to the point where I can eventually have those things, and to some level I already do. I already have the things I always dreamed of having. And that being said, yes, that Lambo was incredible. Driving it, I've driven it multiple times. I actually want to try to borrow it again and have a cool night out on the town. Dress in a black suit and driving a Lambo, listening to punk rock music. I don't know what's cooler, dude. I really don't. At least not in terms of material shit. And it is, I can't describe it. Going from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds or 1.6 seconds, hitting 100 miles an hour by the time you even let off the gas by just pressing it once. It's remarkable. I'm a super car enthusiast. I know you are too. Some of you guys watching and gals probably are. It was incredible. So anyway, let's get off the car for a minute unless you have more questions. Let's keep going. Amber is mentioning the video that I made for her regarding her son when I tattooed her. It was my pleasure, so thanks for bringing that up. It's gotten a lot of attention. That was really cool because it serves its purpose in bringing honor to somebody's memory. Barkus is saying, my best Christmas was when I was released from the hospital on Christmas Eve and I got to be with my family. And then she says, no, Joshua, not too sensitive. Never too sensitive. Barkus, thanks. I appreciate that because you really caused me a lot of stress. Okay, Christy's saying good genes. I don't know what that means, but of course I do. I know you're talking about me. Mikey says, you took me for a ride in your Trans Am to Just In Video. I remember that, Just In Video. To return a VHS because you just got the car and it ripped. Also, I'm currently hunting down an 88 Chevy Sprint Turbo. God, I love that car. Fell in love with your old car even when it had a rod knocking. Dude, I still smashed that car with a rod knocking. But the Trans Am, dude, that car, Pontiac 400, 650 Quadrajet, 350 Turbo, B&H, I believe, stage 3 shift kit. Oh, man. Some meats on the back, BF Goodrich's. Who doesn't like a good muscle car? The sound sitting at the light, just that thing wobbling around with a nice little girl. Oh, it's amazing. Mikey says, Batman vibes. I bet you felt like Chris Angel in Vegas. I don't know who Chris Angel is necessarily, and I don't know why I'd feel like him. Maybe he has a Lambo. I'm not sure, but it definitely gets attention. And I will tell you this, girls don't give a shit about your Lambo. Men care about your Lambo. So if you want attention from men, get a Lambo. If you want attention from women, get a 6-pack. Okay. Here we go. Let's keep going down. I'm kind of a little behind because I try to keep up with all this. Damir says, looks good on big screen. Appreciate that. I got a cigar. Should be lit with a wood match. You're 100% right. This is a good cigar. It's not a premium cigar. So lighting it with anything, I'm fine with it. As for going to the Chamber of Commerce, that's fucking amazing. Just proud of your drive. I appreciate it. I'll talk about that for a second. My assistant, who I hired recently, who's amazing. If you guys haven't met her, seen her in the last episode, she was very well part of the team very quickly. She drove me to do it because I know I need to get out more. I need to be part of the community more, and there's big goals and hopes and dreams that I have in the future, which means I need to be part of the local community. And our local community is pretty deep and pretty fucking rad, too. Very wonderful people. So I went to a mixer tonight to the Chamber of Commerce, or hosted by the Chamber of Commerce, and met a lot of really cool people. Matter of fact, I even got approached, my assistant got approached by the Boys and Girls Club, which I've always wanted to be part of and tried to in the past, and just ended up kind of bailing at the time. But for other personal reasons, it was appropriate for me to do so. But I've always wanted to get back into it because I think it's a super cool program. And they came up to us and had mentioned to my assistant, Amber Graham, that we should do something there with them, whether it's a nice talk, almost like a presentation, to even working with the kids in regards to some of the classes that I host in the regarding the tattoo industry. So anyway, we'll be doing that soon, and I'm really excited about it because it's something that matters a lot to me. And you are right, though, Mikey, that a good cigar really should be lit with a match. It's definitely a gentleman's way of doing it, but I'm also not too fancy, and I say just light that bitch. I don't care if it's with a propane torch, a fireplace, or some hot rubber on the back of a fucking Lambo. Okay. Yeah, it's so funny. Christy, sorry, sometimes I just don't understand any of your responses, but I appreciate you. Mikey, don't you have that big caddy on airbags? Oh, I got more questions. Ask away, Mikey. No, I never bought that car, and I'm glad I didn't. It's badass, but I drive it like 5 times a year. And again, it's a dude magnet. Every time I'm in that car, it brings so much attention. You just got to answer questions all day. And some people like that. That's cool, but I don't really like it that much. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm a little behind. Let's catch up. Let's go quick here. Just go with it. Amanda, of course. Oh, I'm sorry, Christy. She sent. Danbury says, dang, that's what us ladies are doing wrong. We need Lambos. You don't need Lambos, women. If you need Lambos to get a man's attention, you're doing something wrong. All you got to do is be as young as possible and pretty. I should say at least around 21 to 28 years old, and you're going to have zero problems getting men's attention, and or just be as pretty and sweet and smiley and happy as you possibly can, and you should have no problems. Hello, artistic family. What's up, Amanda? Thanks for being on air. We love seeing you and having you join us. Okay, here, my assistant. Wow, I'm gonna find a way to date her. She's probably in to me already. Yes, Mikey, my assistant's super into you. She thinks you're absolutely ridiculous, and her husband would probably totally be down with you hanging out with us all tonight. It'd be super cool. So come on by. Let's see here. Keep going. So there we go. I finally caught up. So I'll try to stay that way at the moment. I'm glad you didn't own that. Did you look like a J manicure? You know what, Mikey? The Cadillac, it's cool. It's fun. It's fun to partake, but I really don't need to own it. It's not something I want, not like a Lambo or a Harley or something that I need. I have to have it. It's not even a question. I have to have those things. But the Caddy, not such a big deal to me. The van, 100% necessary. Bicycle, absolutely. A skateboard, can't live without it. Guitar, all day long. Caddy, once a year, totally fine. Okay, so let's get to the next question. So you guys can keep getting spicy in the comment section. I appreciate it. It's already been almost an hour, which is crazy because this shit goes by fast. Let's refill this glass, and I'll ask the follow-up questions. So I believe this is coming from Facebook. Mikey, I hope you heard me answer your question earlier at the beginning of this stream. If not, you can replay it later. Okay, so next question. Do you have any family traditions? I'm assuming that means like holiday or Christmas related family traditions. I can't keep this damn thing lit. Where's my real lighter? Let's do this. Any holiday traditions? I think everybody has, to some degree, holiday traditions. One of my holiday traditions, you're not going to like it, but Thanksgiving specifically is I like to be alone. I like to feel sorry for myself, and I like to eat cheeseburgers from McDonald's and sulk in my sadness. And I mean that to some degree. What I mean by that is I allow myself at least Thanksgiving and Christmas and sometimes even a certain day out of the year to feel shitty. And I mean that. I think it's important because some people just do it all year anyway, unintentionally, because they're a bunch of crybabies. I've been that crybaby before, and I don't like it. So what I do is I allow myself a few days to shouldn't say crybaby. It's not fair to mourn, right? A lot of you have lost people you love, and you know what it's like to live in this world without people that made it so much better than it is without. And I like to take that time, especially holidays. So my tradition for me personally is to remember people that are no longer with us, and even sometimes to think about other people who've lost those who are no longer with us. And that's what I like to do during holidays personally. I mean, of course, I hang out with my kids. I do what I can with my family time to time, but my real only tradition is that I like to take that time to really celebrate that, even if it hurts, even if it's sad. I think it's still very powerful and very important to remind you to not take this fucking life for granted and stop scrolling and stop doom scrolling, stop watching your Netflix, stop sitting on your couch endlessly and talking about shit that doesn't matter and hang out with people who don't give a fuck about what you give a fuck about. It's just important. It's just such a hefty reminder. Okay, Mikey says, have you ever needed 4x4 in the van? If you wanted to go further once, a 4x4, they're so expensive, but seem like overwear. I've never needed it except for once, and it got stuck. And I dug me and the kids out in the middle of fucking nowhere. It was actually quite shitty, but a winch could have got me out. So no, I didn't. I don't think I've ever needed 4x4. It's also 10,000 pounds, and I don't plan on taking my van anywhere that would be impossible to get out. So very careful with that, especially if my kids are with me. Mike says, taking a day to check yourself and think, pretty good. 100% necessary for quality of life, if you're asking me. Yes, Donna, I appreciate that, and I totally agree. Audra, thanks for being on here. Good to see you. She's saying, same Thanksgiving is not a good holiday. My daughter and I started a tradition, just us. This year was Ruth Christ. It was great. Thanksgiving is not a good holiday. I think Thanksgiving's a great holiday. I just think it's up to us to decide how to spend it. Danbury is pointing out something very important, I think, saying, honestly, now that I'm older, I feel like the holidays are all consumer. Buy, spend, and I hate it. I do it for the kids. That's only if you buy into it. It's your choice. You don't have to do that. When I get a tree, I think of evergreens. I put it in my house and I sell it, even if it's a fake tree. It symbolizes, I don't think there's anything wrong with fake trees, although real trees are better. It's like electric cars. Maybe there's nothing wrong with them, but I don't fucking want one. I think it's very important to realize that there's a consumer element to it all and to not buy into it, literally. For me, it's just really important for me to go back to the culture and the roots of things, like celebrating a tree. What does that mean? Where did it come from? You know, what's the history of Santa Claus? Like Odin, if you didn't know. Odin was once the all-father god that everybody believed in Nordically, or at least that's not a word Nordically, but in the Nordic regions, but also the pagan religions would worship this all-father, this Father Winter, and I don't know. I just think it's cool to celebrate the traditions and the roots of where all this stuff came from. You know, deer, flying deer, pulling sleighs with a white bearded man. It's all stemming from old Viking and Nordic and pagan religions mixed with now Christianity. Like, you know, celebrating Christ and Santa is kind of ironic because Santa really is derived essentially from the history of Odin. And Odin was the all-father. The Father Winter was, you know, the god of gods, the father of gods. And it's also the winter solstice was celebrated during this time. And it's very interesting that then Christianity took it and added the Son of God. So not to get into the morals of it, but that's the history of it. And I think it's very cool. I think it's very interesting. Damer says, if it's just me, I wouldn't put any decorations up or do any of the hassle. You know what? I probably wouldn't either. But I still like to honor the traditions. I just think it's cool. I think humanity is richer when we have traditions and we have customs. I don't think there's culture without customs, so I think it's cool to have those things. I think it's beautiful. Mikey says, what automobiles do you own and bikes? What do your kids have? Well, I'll tell you what, Isabel has a badass 03 Toyota Tacoma. And it's baha'd out a little bit in the front, pretty stock in the back, some fiberglass fenders and fender flares, and pretty stock for the most part other than that. But it's still a dude, Toyota Tacomas, they rip, man. They're badass trucks. They're like riding crotch rockets almost. The thing is fast, it's like a dirt bike. I won't tell you about all the cars, but I will tell you this, just on the other side of this wall, on the other side of this glass door to the side, is still Little Red. The old red Jeep I bought when I was a kid, and I still have it, and I've been working on it lately, just kind of getting her ready. She's tech free. She's 100% carbureted and just good old fuel burning, rubber burning, 4x4, paint chipped, rusty. It's actually not rusty at all. It's in great shape. It actually has very low miles with a good engine. But anyway, 1979. That's my CJ5 in the back, and I fucking love her. Never get rid of her. Mikey says, you or your boy has one. Yes. Don't know what that means. Yeah, so far Evan is not quite driving. He will be soon, but he probably will be just using my Jeep. I have a Grand Cherokee, 96 Grand Cherokee that's still kicking, and things like a fucking tank. I love it. Let's see if there's any more Facebook comments that I need to get to before the night ends. I do promise you guys a short night, so if you're on here, you have questions, let's get to them. If you have anything you want to ask about paint night coming up, or you don't want to ask, you just want to buy tickets, go into the store, buy the tickets, call if you want to ahead of time to make sure that they're available and or that somebody's there to get you these tickets. If we could do it before 6 during the week, it'd probably be best, but just call and do that, and we'll get you your tickets and we'll have a great time. This is an interesting question. How is life going for you so far this year? All the opportunities that I've ever needed to get, all the things in my life that I've ever wanted are all at hand. So it's nothing but blessed, and I'm completely thankful. And I just feel grateful. That's all. That's how this year's going. I feel very thankful to be able to do and partake in the things that I'm doing and partaking in.
Fucking hell yeah.
Mikey says, Tacoma, I want to see a pic, or I'll give you some good ones. So yeah, the Tacoma's badass. I don't think I've posted anything. It might be on Instagram. I'm not sure, but it is. It's rad. It's silver with black wheels. Christy says, don't Jeeps from the 80s have a hidden lizard or other critter? I've never seen one. I want to. I don't know what that means, but I think I've heard something about that. And also my Jeep is not from the 80s, so I don't know. Mikey says, what is it like trying to make rent on the buildings you own? Is it constant stress? Mikey, no diamond has ever been formed under anything besides high temperature and high stress, high pressure. Most good things all come from high pressure. I think most people are living lukewarm at best. And if you want to really, really find out what you're made of and push your life and find out what you're made of and what you're capable of, you're gonna have to put yourself in situations that are rough, and it's gonna have to take everything you got. Otherwise, if you're comfortable and you don't need to do something, then you probably won't do it. For example, all those people that know they should quit drinking, all the people that know they should, start going to the gym and lose some weight and get fit, and all the people that know they should start saving money. You're not going to do these things probably if you're 30, 40, 50 years old and you're not doing them now. You're probably never going to do them unless you have to. So put yourself in a fucking position where you have to. So that's what I've done. So if you're asking, is it stressful? Yeah, 100%, trying to make rent on the buildings and on all the things I have, to make it all work, to be responsible for people's livelihoods, to raise kids and run multiple businesses. And I'm trying to take off with a couple other businesses too, besides the tattoo thing. One being, the live stream and the show, but having educational products and, doing that. It's a lot. It's a ton. But I don't want to be a normal dude. So no, thank you for that. I'll just keep adding the stress. stress that's mitigated, by the way. You know, it's like trying to pick up 1,000 pounds. If you can't pick it up, it's no good for you. It does no good for you to just continue yanking on 1,000 pounds if you can't pick it up. So start with what you can pick up, and then keep adding the weight, keep adding the stress, and you will watch yourself grow. And that's both physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Mikey says, I didn't know you have a Tacoma with fiberglass fenders. I want to see, please. Well, I don't have a picture right now, so you'll have to take my word for it at the moment, but I can definitely send you one. You're going to have to calm down, Mikey. The Yodas will wait. Audra says, do you have a short-term big goal for next year? You know, I believe we're in financial winter right now, so I think the best goal all of you could have, well, I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. The goal that I have right now is to survive this financial winter that we're in. I don't know how long it's going to last. So my only goals really right now are preparedness financially, physically, to be able to protect my family and the ones I love physically, emotionally, and like I said, spiritually and financially. It's just, that's my only goal at the moment. And I think because we're going through such hard financial times, look, I've said this a lot lately, excuse me, and I'll say it here very directly. When somebody breaks into your house, they don't make a bunch of noise. They go quietly. When somebody comes into your home to help you because there's an emergency, they come in, you know, essentially loud and alert, right? It's very obvious that somebody's there to help you. When somebody's there to hurt you, they're trying their best to not be so obvious. So what I'm saying is when somebody's there to help, shit gets loud. It's very direct. It's very clear. It's very obvious. And it's almost like pandemonium. When someone's there to hurt you, typically they come in quiet and they want to be seductive, right? They want to be under the radar. I think this administration, if we'll get political a little bit, really points out that the world has gotten very quiet. It seems like to us Americans, us spoiled little brats, it's gotten very quiet. And it's only gotten quiet because they're doing really terrible shit right now. And it's really, really ugly. So to Audra's question, do you have a short-term / big-term goal for the next year? What I'm pointing out is right now, I think we're being invaded. I do. I truly do. I know we are. We are being invaded. It's not a question. It's not an opinion I have. These are facts. And it's a full hostile takeover of the American mind and the industrious American people. It's terrible to see what's happening to us. And it'll be too late before we even realize what it was, because it's such a genius, evil takeover of our hearts and our minds. And I sound like that cuckoo dude. I know, because I've heard people talk like this in the past, but now I see it so clear. The last administration was so loud and so obnoxious and so in your face. And so people were, I think the world was there to help and things were going good and we were getting hurrah and excited and people wanted to tear us down. So it's loud and somebody was there to help. People were there to help in the last 6-7 years ago. Now it seems like everybody is quiet and everything's okay and some of the worst shit is happening. So my point is to the question, just to illustrate that a little, is do I have short-term / big-term goals for next year? It's to survive. It's to be capable of survival. It's to be prepared for anything. Who knows what it'll be. You know, the number one cause of death for people in hurricanes and like Hurricane Katrina and other natural disasters is no access to fresh drinkable water. It's terrible that Americans die because they can't get fresh drinkable water. That's insane. And I don't want to be caught with my pants down that way. But also the shit that's happening worldwide, I want to be prepared for any sort of opportunity. So that's my only goal right now. I don't care about anything else. I want to be able to survive. I want to be able to protect my kids. And I want to be able to, hopefully when this is all different, or maybe it's no changes sooner than later, thank God if it does, is I want to thrive. So my only goals right now are to, metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, collect firewood for this coming winter. And so I guess it's actually almost winter right now, but I mean that also metaphorically. Jeeps have Easter eggs hidden there, different spit. Interesting. Yes, I've heard that before, but I don't know that it's true, Danbury. Sorry. Mike's asking, is it crazy or do you love it? Yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm assuming your previous question is what you're asking for. Okay, let's keep going here. I think there are some years that don't have them. Okay, we're still on the Jeep thing. We have a couple conversations happening in the chat, so let's keep going here. Christy says, life in general is stressful. I think so. I just think most people's stress tolerance is so piss poor that they think basic shit is really hard, and it's not. It seems hard to them, and I'm sympathetic to that. I just don't think very many people do very hard things on a regular basis. I really don't. I think normal life to them feels so overwhelming because they just never do anything that difficult. And I'm talking about difficult, not just what you think is difficult, like really actually hard shit to do. Okay, let's see here. Let's keep going. I believe it. Thanks, Brittany, for being on here. Appreciate you. You're saying I tried to tell people these things now. Some people are listening. So I'm guessing you're talking about the subject of the world changing. You don't have to tell people these things necessarily unless they're listening and asking. I think the appropriate time to share things you believe and feel is when people ask. The inappropriate time is when you're just trying to tell people because you want to be right or you want to be heard, just to make that distinction. I try really hard to be in the position of just telling people or sharing with people when they are interested in learning. Other than that, I just try to keep to myself. I don't always do well there because I like to share, and sometimes I do it in the wrong company, and I should check myself. And most of it's to really respect my own time. James, thanks for being on here, saying absolutely right. Interesting. She said I got firewood, $50 a truckload. I don't know what that means. I don't even know what a cord of wood costs anymore. That's what's crazy. Living in the city, it's not really something we stock up on, and most of us don't even have a way to burn it. But it's interesting that living in the city, we're so dependent on the grid. It's very, very dangerous, very bad. James is saying $300. I'm assuming you mean a cord. That's pretty reasonable. Doesn't seem like too big of a deal. We used to sell them all the time when we were kids, and it definitely wasn't $300. So that's interesting. Brittany says, it's my family, so it's different. I share my thoughts with them quite often. My question would be, are they receptive to it? Very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to get to the next question since we're caught up in the chat. Thanks, guys, for being on here. If you're just jumping on,
you get in my face with that, I'll beat your guy.
So if you guys are just jumping on, I appreciate you. You know I like to play the sound effects. This shit just makes me happy. If you guys send American flags, I'm going to give you America, fuck yeah! And if you guys are on here and it gets boring, then you're just going to have to suffer. But if you want to be on here and be an idiot.
You are fake news.
Or if you just want to hang out and get to know me.
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
See what I did there? Team America, that's right, 100%. Okay, so I'm going to get to the next question that's coming in through Facebook as well, so we can get to all these. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Okay, this is a good question. This is coming from Facebook. It's, what's the toughest part about doing interviews? What's the toughest part about doing interviews? If you guys haven't seen any of my episodes where I do them, you should 100% watch the episode with Jeremy Micah DeVault. And either one, I did 2 of them, but watch the recent one or the one I did previously. I think it was like in the 40s, like 47 or something was the first one. Watch that episode. That's one of my most watched episodes. I think it actually is the most watched live episode. You should watch that. And there's a lot of things hard about interviewing people. One is to know what your boundaries are. To know, Jeremy is a combat veteran, and he served in the Army. He's been on he's been overseas. He's done his tours. He's actually seen combat. He's seen the darker side of things, if you will. I mean that respectfully. And, to talk to him, and I'm not qualified to do so. I'm just some guy on YouTube hanging out, talking to you guys, doing a live show and trying to bring you interesting things for a multitude of reasons. One of them being just that, like, recognizing that we're just all fucking humans. Stories don't always just come from some faraway land. Even local people can share with you things that really hit home. And so I like to do those. I like to conduct those interviews with these people. And Jeremy is a really good example. And he's a fucking awesome person. He's a rad guest. He's just a cool fuck. He's just a cool dude. And the hardest thing about interviewing him is trying to feel like I know my place. Not because I feel insecure about or inferior or insecure or it's more of a respect thing. It's hard to know, like I don't want to ask the wrong questions. I'm not familiar with combat. I've never been in the military, never served. So I don't want to ask the wrong questions in those regards. So sometimes I'm talking to people about business. They're qualified. People about battle or war they're qualified. Sometimes artists or tattooers. And sometimes I know exactly what questions to ask and what limits to push. And then sometimes I don't want to go too far out of respect. And so that's probably the hardest thing about interviews. Other than that, the best advice I've ever gotten regarding interviews, because the question is, what's the toughest part about doing interviews? It was really tough to do interviews until I learned something very specific. And this actually is very good for relationships if people want to get to know each other. If you're having a hard time getting to know new people or connecting with people, here's a little trick. The best advice I've ever got regarding how to interview well is just genuinely find a way to be incredibly curious about the person, and the interview will go really well. And the same's true for meeting new people. So, little food for thought. I used a lot of that tonight, actually, in regards to the event I went to earlier. Daber says, what's your least favorite holiday, Josh? I would say probably Valentine's Day. It's kind of a big load of crap. Least favorite holiday, probably that. Doesn't have much roots in culture, and it's kind of just lame. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to miss anything. I think I'm pretty caught up. Brittany's answering what I asked earlier. I don't push my thoughts on them. I just share. They don't agree with it. I don't push my beliefs on people. That's good. You really should just be offering. And the best offering you could ever give to people is your own physical and your own life's example, right? Lead by example. That's just such a good. People have so many opinions and so many things to say, and they want to say it to everybody. But if you're not leading by example, you really should shut your mouth and get to work. I'm not saying, Brittany, this to you, but in general. So it's good that you're responding this way. I think it's wonderful to share especially when people are receptive. But so many people have opinions about shit, and they don't even have their own lives together in any way. They're just such a mess, and they want to tell other people what they should be doing. I think it's just so disingenuous. You should make something yourself before you start telling other people how to do it, especially if you have a family, if you have kids, especially you dudes out there. You guys got kids out there. You guys need to lead by fucking example. Stop blaming shit on the woman. Stop blaming shit on the world. Stop blaming shit on the government. You guys need to pick up your fucking britches and lead. Like, we need this shit. Even if you don't think people want you to, who gives a shit? That's not the option. It's just dumb. So anyway, James says curiosity and empathy go a long way. 100%. Curiosity is a key to many good personal interactions, no doubt. Brody Jade, thanks for being on here and asking favorite part of the day. My favorite part of the day today. Well, there's probably so many. I did so many cool things today. I did a photo shoot with the girls at the shop. Had a friend come by and try on some clothes and joined them. It was super fun. We had good food. I did a really cool tattoo on a great guy. I had cool, really great conversations. The tattoo came out great. It was a wolf on his hand. I woke up and got to talk to the kids this morning. I mean, I don't know. I could keep going on and on. The day was great. The sky was beautiful. I took a bunch of photos. I went to an event tonight, met a bunch of really cool new people, got offered to speak at the Boys and Girls Club. I got you guys on here asking rad questions about Ferraris, Lamborghinis, people, whatever, life. I got whiskey and a cigar. I don't know. I mean, I'm dressed like a fucking G. Like, things are good. People are sending their American flags. Thanks for that. You know, I always love seeing them. The favorite part of the day? I don't know. I'd actually have to say probably right now. This is my favorite part of the day. This has been very nice. So thank you guys. Oh, Mikey. I was so worried. I was wondering where we were, Mikey. Thanks so much. Your phone died and now he's back. Now I can relax. Thank you so much, man. Whew, that was rough. Okay, let's see here. Can I ask you kind of a political question? Of course you can, Mikey. 100%. Ask me a political question. No problem. I don't shy away from that stuff. So let's get to the last couple of questions while you're typing that in, Mikey. His political questions. Haha, I miss you. We'll see. Okay, so the last two responses aren't questions at all. You guys can probably guess what they are. If you'd like to guess what they are, type in. I'll read you one, but you can guess what the last one is. If you are the one who sent the last one, then no cheating. Okay, so these are not questions. I ordered chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know which one arrives first. That's not the right button. There we go. Let's do it again just to redeem yourself. Okay, that's pretty funny. I dig that. So thanks for sending that. Somebody also asked what kind of whiskey am I drinking tonight? I already showed it once. Happily show it again. I love this shit. It's cheap, easy to find. Everybody carries it. It's not unique. It's spicy. It's good. It's got a really cool cinnamony sort of rye taste to it, like a dry sort of kick. And it's I think it's pretty smooth. I don't think it's very strong. But again, I'm a whiskey drinker, so proceed with caution. Let's see here. We got 100 proof, so it's definitely not light. It's a strong boy, and it works. It does the job, and I'm enjoying it. So there we go. Okay, so last question. Here we go. It's not a question. It's a statement. Wow. Do I have any sound effects? What can I play? Let's see. What do I got here? No. What do I got? No. Nope. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing to play other than I'll just read the question. Actually, let's just do my Linda. Here's my Linda sound effect. Smoking hot. Not a question, it's a statement, but thank you for saying that. Okay, let's see if Mikey asked his political question yet. Let's go here. Tamer's asking, are you single this week? That was not the question, but I'm going to probably be single for the rest of my life. Are any of us really single? I mean, come on. We're not living our life single. We all have people around us. We all have community. We all have people. We all have somebody in our lives, whether it's romantic or professional or, family. Like we all got people. None of us are single. I don't believe in being single. I think being single is a fallacy. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to screen this. Let's just read it. Mikey's saying, what do you think about all these military-aged men flooding the borders through Mexico, specifically just seen as military-aged dudes, not with families? So it sketches me out specifically. Well, it should. It should sketch everybody out specifically, and we should all be very concerned. But I think it's a little late. I just unfortunately think our country's in a place where we've been caught with our pants down. I think our government's pulled our pants down and is just like taking up the tailpipe, and they love it. So my answer is it's very sketch, and I don't think enough people care enough about it, and they don't like hearing about it. They don't like talking about it. And as soon as you have a conversation about it, people get real uncomfortable real quick because nobody likes hard shit anymore. They like their TikTok, owned by China. They like their, Netflix. They like their adult films. They like all their distractions and entertainments. They like their feel goods. Today, people are so like all of us to some degree are way too feel good than we should be. Our country's being literally completely taken over, and we're just watching it and going, oh, I think so, eating our popcorn and drinking our sodas and watching our Netflix, going, I hope everything's okay. And then people say, man, you get really worked up over this shit, Josh. Yeah, and you don't get worked up enough. That's the truth about it. People should be way more fucking pissed about this. It's not good. So that's how I feel about it, if you wanted to know. On another note, Audra says, can't go wrong with Whistle. You're 100% right. And Audra, by the way, thanks for being our bartender. You did amazing. And you are invited back anytime, and we should absolutely plan something. So thank you for that. I hope you're doing well. James is on here asking, I have a question. What is your opinion of AI? By the way, Mikey, if you have any more questions regarding that question you asked earlier and my response to it, then ask away. I'm more than happy to answer. So James is saying, I have a question. What is your opinion on AI? I think AI is more rudimentary than I kind of expected it to be right out the gate. But at the same time, my opinion of AI is simple. Humans today, us old folks, even boomers and people sort of our age, or even I get really every generation today, are fascinated when they look. Let me show you something. You take this phone right here, okay? You put it by you. And you say something like, oh, I was thinking about buying this kind of kibble today for my dog. And then you go look on your phone later, and then all of a sudden it pops up and shows up, and you look at it and go, oh my God, it was listening. And you are mesmerized. You're beside yourself. You are literally completely blown away by the fact that this thing heard you and then showed you an ad regarding the thing in which you spoke of. That right there shows you and all of us have said this. I've heard everybody say it. Like anybody who says, oh, I know it's listening and it doesn't surprise me at all. Bullshit. Everybody says it. Everybody says, man, it just listens to you and like, oh, you could say something and it pops up. Yeah, you idiot. You gave it permission to do so every time you downloaded an app, and this stupid device has a microphone on it. You don't think it's listening? Of course it listens. You can't take the battery out anymore. Everybody knows that you can't take the battery out anymore. Even if you could, it still has capacitors that hold enough energy to still listen, even if you disable it, even when you're working on the phone, right? My point is the fact that we're astounded by that. It shocks us. You can hear people in their voices like, oh my God, it's listening. It has a microphone built into it, and you gave it permission every time you downloaded an app. My point is, that's a rudimentary function. That's rudimentary functionality of this basic device in comparison to what we're building now and what's out and the type of things. They're not just listening anymore. They're doing way more nefarious shit, way past listening now, way past that. But we're still like monkeys banging our heads against a wall going, oh, they're still listening to us. My point is, when AI comes, and it's already here, when it fully gets dispersed, us idiots, us little monkeys won't even look. This is what it will be like. Here's what's going to happen. Imagine going up to an ant and telling it the scariest shit you could ever imagine. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to step on you. I'm going to end your life. I'm going to kill your whole family. I'm talking about ants here, guys. Don't get me kicked off. And you say that to an ant. The ant is completely unbothered, right? Because your communication is so far beyond the ant that it can't see you, it can't hear you, it doesn't even register you. That's what AI will be to humans. We will be the ant, and AI will be doing everything behind the scenes, and you won't even see it. And it could be right in front of your face, saying and doing the most terrible shit through code and through technology and through algorithms. Dunzo, son. Done. And you're all going to give it to your kids just like you give your phones to your 1-year-olds and let them swipe. You're all going to put goggles on your kids and let AI take over. You do it anyway, and everybody complains about parenting. So you want to know how I really feel? I think we're all inviting it in, and it's the end of us. I think it's already here and showing up. It's showing up in our dating and sex life. It's showing up in our personal lives. It's showing up in our physical lives. It's showing up in our health and our fitness, and it's showing us how inept we are. So AI is just exposing how really how easily conditionable the human mind and psyche really is. So that's my opinion. That's my brief opinion of AI. Okay. Do you think there's any? Mikey says, do you think there's an ulterior motive? I do. What if they could flood a nation with terrorists from your country? Mikey, you have to understand something. Do you think there's an ulterior motive? And he's saying, I do. What if you could flood a nation with terrorists from your country? So what the problem is with your question is you're saying, do you think there's an ulterior motive? You have to assume that there's already some motive that's positive and for the people. He's talking about people flooding our country illegally, which right now, by the way, if you don't know this, they're actually trying to fight and pass laws that allow them to enter into our military, therefore to get full citizenship through service. And I'm not talking about immigrants. I'm talking about people here illegal. So, do I think there's an ulterior motive? No, I think the motive has always been the same: power and control. There's no ulterior motive needed. So I don't think there needs to be one. I think anybody who doesn't see it happening, and we're sitting here squabbling over things we can't do anything about anymore, is pretty sad. It's really, really sad to see. And yes, there's the motive is simple: power and control. That's what these people want. So they allow it to happen because they're going to get more power and control. Americans aren't having babies anymore, right? When I was a kid, it was like 3.5 kids per household. For every 4 households, you'd have 12 plus kids. Now it's in our younger generation, it's going to be 0.25. That's the average. It's going to be 0.25 kids per household. That's 1 for every 4 homes. Okay. So where we used to have 12 kids for every 4 homes, now we're going to have 1 kid for every 4 homes. So we're going to have no more red-blooded, hoorah, gun-toting, big truck driving, constitutionally carrying Americans. That's my opinion. That's what they're doing. And then we're replacing them with everybody else. Not because they love everybody else, not because they care about, amnesty, or they care about, what is it called? It's not because these people need refuge. They're not refugees. These aren't people fleeing their country. What they're doing is they're allowing it to happen because these people aren't going to fight for America or their values. They don't care. And it's not because these people are bad. I'm not always saying just that, although I'm sure some of them are, and we're letting in criminals, no doubt. There's all kinds of cartel and things coming over the borders, all the fentanyl's coming over the borders. We just don't seem to care. And my point is that we're letting this happen, and it's obvious, it's clear. So the American mind is disappearing and the foreign mind is taking over. And you know what that's going to happen? What's going to happen from that? The American government's going to have full control in every way. And nobody's going to put up a fight. That's the truth. That's what they're doing. So, but that's not an ulterior motive. That's been their motive ever since. It's just power and control. What do you think our founding fathers said? A small, limited government by the people, for the people. That was the whole agenda. And they knew it. And they knew the founding fathers put that in sight into the Constitution and the Declaration because they knew that governments before that wanted exactly that, full power and control. So it's not an ulterior motive. It's been their position ever since the beginning of time. There's nothing new about it. It just sucks that we're being hijacked completely. Mike says AI is sketch. Yeah. Mikey also says, but war in our front yard seems to be coming. I don't think so. But they are hidden in plain sight as in the news. All they need is like 10 shipping containers. So Mikey, I personally don't think we're going to have war on the home front. And I'll tell you why. Because American people are the most enslaved economic people to ever walk the planet Earth. They do not want to stop you from going to work, being a good boy, getting taxed to high hell. Our families are torn apart. Men are no longer the family leaders. God is taken out of our home. They don't want to stop that. They've done it. They've won. They've turned you into the greatest blood bag any system's ever siphoned from. So the real war has already happened. It's already taken you over. Everybody's already subject to it. Everybody's falling apart. Women complain about men not being able to step up, and they never talk about how they're going to help them or take care of their boys at home, and how men are falling apart and they should do something about it, because women will never do that. That's not their position. And then men complain about how the world's so hard today to do anything, but the government's pulled their pants down and let them take it up the tailpipe, and we're all in a position now where we should be really fucking careful, because even though we might not see war necessarily on the home front, we're already at war. It's spiritual, right? It's spiritual, it's mental, it's financial, it's everything but physical for now. But mark my words, in the coming years, if not like tonight, tomorrow, whenever, I don't know, we are sitting ducks just like we were the day before 9/11. We are sitting ducks right now with a country that's absolutely we are absolutely experiencing a hostile takeover. And I don't mean just at the border. I mean in our homes, right? Through our devices, through media, through everything. And we're allowing it. We're giving the damn devices to our kids. So don't complain to me when shit goes awry and you don't know what to do. Well, you sat there and you watched your Netflix your whole life instead of becoming something. Okay. There we go. Donna's on here speaking the truth. I don't know if everybody agrees with me, and you don't have to. It's not about agreeing with me wholeheartedly. It's about listening, getting ideas, and going from there and talking about hard things that most people aren't willing to say because they have too much to lose, and their jobs hang on the line, right? You say the wrong thing, and somebody wants to fucking cancel you, and everybody's too much of a coward to say it. Therefore, we're in this position, this predicament where nobody wants to speak up. Yes, so Mikey's pointing out some of the distraction tactics that they're using, no doubt. Mikey says, are your kids firearm educated, I would assume? I definitely make sure that my kids are very well educated in personal protection, especially in the use of firearms. That's a very good tradition to have. I bet you everybody in Ukraine and everybody right now in Israel and everybody around the world that's at war wishes they would have done the same. So I don't want to be that person that wishes I would have done it. Instead, just do it. I think it's an obligation. I don't think it's an option. I think everybody should be, listening and taking heed to those words. Mikey says ulterior motive was not the best choice of words. I get what you mean. I just think it's important to point out that most people think that these systems were ever here to help you. School is never here to help you to be successful. It's to turn you into an idiot that works in the system that makes them rich beyond your fucking belief. The school system was never here to help you. The government was never here to help you. The government was never trying to, the problem is your premise. Most people's premise was that any of this was supposed to be good for you in the first place. That's the problem with most people's questions. Is they say, what do you think's the worst thing school is this? Or what do you think schools are doing to our kids? Or do you think this is good? Or do you think the government's, dude, what is their motive? Their motive's always been the same, to take full control, and they will, and they have. They're going to. They're never going to end. But it's our job as free people to express ourselves and express and exercise our rights, to give them at least a bit of fight in it. Like, give them a little bit of hell at least. Like, put up some fucking resistance at least. Jesus. Here we go. Okay. Denver says New World Order. It's already done. New World Order's here. Here's the world we've all let in. So let's live in it. Make the best of it best we can. Danbury also says ripping out our history is going to cause us to repeat it. It seems to be inevitable that seems to be true. Justin's on here saying, what if power goes out? Without electricity, how well would we survive? How would we pay for stuff? How would we communicate? That's what you have to prepare for, Justin. That's what you should prepare yourself and your family and your community for. You need training. You need experience. You need you need some resources. You need some know-how. Really glad that I have a history of backpacking and camping and even a history of complete poverty. So growing up with very little and having to survive has paid off very well for me, and knowing that I can survive better than most people. And staying physically, emotionally, spiritually fit is so fucking important, guys. If you want to talk about this, these coming times that are just so treacherous, right? Like it's so quiet right now. Everybody thinks everything's cool to some degree, but I think everybody knows to some degree something's a brewing. And we're not wrong. We're sitting here saying it now, and thank goodness it hasn't happened yet. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to suck when it does. It's going to suck, and it's not good. And I think we should be paying way more attention. And being prepared is nothing if you're not fit, right? So like the greatest service you could ever give your family, yourself, or your community is just get yourself together best you can. Start now. Like put this shit down and start now, and stop hanging on excuses. Okay, let's keep going down. Mikey's saying, I'm talking about bullets, gas, and bombs, 9/11 attacks. The main thing that scares me is people with less coming to look for an easy target. Not zombies, I'm not crazy, but people looking for shit. Look at these videos of people just robbing Nike stores, 7-Elevens, and the mob mentality. The people that are robbing these things are robbing them because our country is literally, especially America, California specifically, has decriminalized activities that now, which we know fuck, it sucks because there's so much to say about this. I can't cover it all. I wish I could. I'm going to stop myself there because I could go down another rabbit hole of human behavior and how easy we are incentivized or decentivized, meaning we're so controllable, we're so gullible, we're so like able to sit in a desk and train us to do whatever the hell they want, and then we fight for it like it's our identity. Like we love that shit. It's sad. Mikey says school should teach you what first, last, and deposit is, how to plunge a toilet, and how hot water heaters work, etc. You're confusing school with education, and unfortunately, school's never been here to educate you. School's been here to condition you since the get-go. So again, another misnomer. It's an inappropriate way of looking at the school system is to think it was ever here to help you. It was literally set out by evil people to control you, to get you to be a mindless retard that does their bidding. So no, school's not here to help you ever. It never has been. So don't be surprised when it fails us completely, because it does. That was pretty good. You guys should write that down. Somebody should sound clip that and send it to the world, because more people need to understand this shit. Toot my own horn. Mikey also says American life skills should be in a course in school. Again, your problem is that you ever assumed that school was ever here to help you, and it was not. Its origins are evil. Its literal birth is evil. Mike, that's a lot. Or James Flynn's on here. He's saying quite a bit. I can't read it all. Labeled as this terrorist. Yeah, they're trying to destroy the spirit of the American people because it's the most robust, informative, informed, and capable people the world's ever seen. And it's just waiting for us good old boys to get out of the way. And they're going to get everything they want. And we're going to let it happen if we don't teach this shit to our kids, if we don't push it, if we're not fervent about it, if we don't give a shit enough to be pissed the fuck off, they're going to get away with it. And the only real hope is that we're pissed off enough that we're so uncomfortable, we do something about it. That's just the truth. And unfortunately, they've been turning up the temperature so slowly that I don't think most people are going to do anything about it. This was supposed to be a whiskey and a cigar night. And it is. It's a whiskey cigar night, and I think this turned into exactly what I would like it to, because I like getting pissed off, because I think not enough people are. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. We're going to be closing up here pretty shortly, so we could keep this conversation forever, but I don't want to be on too late tonight. I would like to get home at a less ungodly hour. We got to all the questions that were on Facebook, so thank you you guys and girls for sending that. But I'll try to finish the rest of this chat, so you guys just know we'll be wrapping it up soon, but I appreciate you, and don't jump off just yet. Danbury says, I'm definitely working on the physical part because the number one rule of Zombieland is cardio. Interesting. Yeah, without physical fitness, man, you got nothing. You just got nothing in this life. You got a short life. You got no impact. Nobody listens to you. Nobody takes consideration. I mean, just you got to get yourself together. If you want to tell other people how to live a good life, they're not gonna, if you really have good information to share with people, yet you don't have your own self together, it just null and voids that information. Even if the information was good or correct, it's a really irresponsible thing to do. So get yourself together. It's one of the most noble things you could ever do for yourself and community. Just do it. It's not a question. It's not an option, especially when the world goes to shit. Y'all be getting fit real quick if you're not worse. Denver says, like another Vegas concert situation, 9/11, etc. Worse. Promise you. Worse. Way worse. We're in our pants are way farther down past the ankles now than ever before. So way worse. Whatever's coming is way worse. So buckle up for that, because we're just blindly letting it in. And how we let this in is we're so docile. We're so conformative. We so accept. Like when we were kids, we were like, we believed in nonconformity and always questioning everything and don't trust the government. Anything the government does is probably a joke. To now we fucking trust that shit. Like too many people are just, they're watching everything. And like when we grew up, everybody said, oh, don't believe everything you see. We meant mostly on TV, and how everybody believes everything they see online. And it's just pathetic. So the reason this is all working is because we got our heads so far up our ass, right, that we can't see any lick of sunshine whatsoever. Justin says they aren't teaching the reading or writing in cursive. How will people sign their own name or read the Declaration of Independence? People don't need to sign their own name. A signature is just a mark. And reading and writing in cursive is pretty archaic. It's the same reason why we don't carve things in stone anymore. I'm not saying it's not useful. It's very useful. It's very important. People should know how to do it for sure. But they're not teaching that in school because your premise, Justin, is already incorrect. School was never there to help you. It's here to train you how to be factory workers for the big tech, big companies, the people in actual control, not the government, but the actual people in control with trillions to their name. It's to train you and condition you, not teach you anything, but train you and condition you to be their little robots. You guys should look into this shit more, man. It sucks that American people are being hijacked completely because we are some badass motherfuckers and we're at the brink of being so fucking rad, but you guys are just letting this shit get sold off so quick because you don't want to think about hard things. You don't want to do any research. You want to be right. So you find a little bit of information that you can throw in somebody's face and be like, look, I'm right and I'm cool and I'm on the right side. Instead of just being super badass, being, super capable, skilled. And I'm not saying you guys aren't and aren't trying. I'm just saying not enough people are. And we need to do some research. People need to get together. We need communities like this so people can have this dialogue. So I'm going to tell you right now, there should be some stuff you should hear on a daily basis that you've never heard before because there's some fucked up shit going on to us. And unfortunately, it feels very normal to you because you're conditioned and trained in it. It's very normal for you to send your kids to school. It's very normal for you to pay 60, 70% in taxes by the time it's all done. It's very normal for you to just let people into your country and with open arms, or at least do nothing about it. It's very normal to allow our country to threaten our firearms and ability to protect ourselves and giving it up because it's against the law instead of defying them. You know how many laws are that are defied all the time that nobody enforces because nobody follows them, but yet they're still law, but nobody enforces it because nobody fucking abides by it. But we've become such a law-abiding citizens that we're letting them get away with tyranny. There's not enough dudes with their balls dropped, man. It's just terrible. Barkus is saying we're literally playing out the famous rat psychology experiment. I don't know which one that is, but you're not wrong. Whichever one it is, you're absolutely not wrong, no doubt. Mikey says, "Oh shit, I can see that. To make happy helpers pay taxes and follow the herd. I understand, 100%. That's what we're doing." Ryan says, "Real education is what, and if you teach your own kids is what." Maybe that's written wrong. Real education is if you teach your own kids. Education is the implementation of information turned to skill, right? And getting a feedback loop of failure until success, so that now you actually know and you're of use. That's what education is. Education is information turned into action and enough failing to eventually getting it right, so that you know the truth and doing that over and over and over throughout your whole entire life. That's education, not sitting and listening. You guys ever wonder why they give you A's, B's, and C's? Why do they give you A's, B's, and C's? Because they don't want you to give a shit about 1s, 2s, and 3s. Because that's what really matters to them. They give a shit about 1s, 2s, and 3s. They want 0s and 1s. 1s with tons of 0s after them. There's a reason why the school system gives you A's, B's, and C's. Because the people in power know they want the money and they want you to be the idiot that gets the reward, the cool sticker and the star, the A's, B's, and C's. You're that guy. So that's why they teach their kids this shit. It's conditioning. Mikey says, "Thank America for whiskey and cigar nights." 100%. Land of the free for now. Yeah, lots of stuff there, Mikey, in that comment. Daber says, "Anarchy and rebellion. Everyone is so soft and touchy now." LOL. It doesn't have to be anarchy and rebellion. We already have a set of rules that are perfect, guys. It's called the Bible. It's called the Constitution. It's called the Declaration. They're perfect. I mean, they're literally as perfect as anything a human could ever have access to physically. So it's already figured out for you. That's the good news. This shit's already figured out for you. There's nothing new you need. It's already done for you. All right, the best book, life how-to success manual in the world that's ever existed. It's called the Bible. It's already done for you. It's not a religious text, guys. This is a how to live your life text. Read it. It's about success. Most of it's literally about success and how to survive and how to thrive. Look into it yourself. Let's see here. Wednesday abuse. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, there you go, Mike. Yeah, I appreciate that comment. Thanks for sending that. So, like, what's going on? Mikey says, I feel like Americans are the only people chastised for supporting their country. They say our flag is racist. Yeah, that's the whole agenda, man. Like I said, the most robust thing on this planet is the American mind. The industrious, self-made American people that are gritty and badass. Like I'm saying, guys, one thing that should pump you up and you should take out of this not such doomsday shit is we are on the brink of being so absolutely rad. So we're so close. We're here, man. We're actually here. There's badass women and men in this country. But the women are so concerned about how shitty the men are, instead of caring for them and picking them up a little and helping them and supporting them, especially their boys, all they do is complain about how inconvenient it is for their sex lives. Instead of caring about their boys and their community. They say, look how shitty they are. Boys are this, men are that. And then they say, oh, it's so shitty to try to date them. Oh, I'm just going to stay single. All you do is point out how bad it is for your sex life. You should be more concerned about your damn family and your community and the men that are here to protect and provide for you, to build your communities and your bridges and your roads and your infrastructure. Like, you don't give a shit about them, or is it just all about how inconvenient it is for your sex life? And us men's complain about, oh, women aren't this and women aren't. Dude, become something. Like, make something of yourself. Don't let all these powers and all these powers that be and all these control tactics and all this information and all this word, you could almost call it information porn in the physical sense and literal sense. All this distraction shit cloud your brain and sit here and feel good about being right on the internet like a keyboard warrior behind your steering wheel like a badass. Get in the real life and make something yourself. Get strong, get fit, get smart, get trained. Build a community. Read the fucking Bible. Like, you can disagree with me all you want and not believe God's real. I really actually don't care. But you cannot debate whether or not there's a better book in the world to learn from the Bible. It's not disputable. So you can be ignorant enough to say, oh, well, I don't really need it. I'm not religious. Cool, man. Like, good luck with that. And watch this country decay because we've lost the true father that teaches the father of the household how to run his family so that this country could be the best place possible and women can have better options than the lazy fucks that we have today. Man, that's hurtful. Okay. Our country was free until the feds came about. Our country was never free, Ryan. It's something we always had to fight for. We've become so complacent that we're less free today than ever before. We're never fully free. You tell me, Ryan, when there was a time on this planet, much less this country, where the Constitution and Declaration were fully enacted by all men all the time. You tell me when we had every constitutional right across the board. When was that day? The answer is never. And it's something we always have to fight for, and that's the point. Okay. James saying, got to head out for the night. Appreciate you being on here, man. It was good to have you, and I hope you got something from this, and I hope to see you next time. Okay. Mikey says, what's the definition of school, I wonder? That's interesting because I don't exactly know why they picked that name. Never really looked into that. Mikey says, do you have an American flag tattoo? And then question mark, why not? Yes, I have one. I have multiple. Could be wrong. Yes, I do have American flag tattoos. Copying my grandpa who fought in the Vietnam War and joined it during World War II. I was copying his tattoo that he got in Honolulu. Dambria. Dambria saying the problem is not being taught anymore, so the information is getting lost. The problem is that we're not teaching anymore. Your kids get home your kids get sent home with homework to keep you from the family. That's why your kids get sent home. You should reject homework vehemently. You should look at homework as evil, as robbing you as parents from teaching your kids and not even just teaching them, spending time with them at the damn dinner table, putting their phones down, actually being a family unit, which is like one of the strongest things in the world, which is what they're so afraid of. They do not want families to be tough, strong, and well put together. That is the thing that threatens power the most, is well put together families. That's it. So you guys should 100% all reject homework completely. Because you know what would happen if we all did, right? There's always strength in numbers. They would have no choice. They couldn't enforce any of it. Mike says, you can't argue the Japanese are far more advanced technologically, at least from what Fox News says. Things are scary, strong men fighting robots. Yeah, the Japanese are really advanced, and China is too and has access to all those things. What's even worse is for everything to exist, we have to have computer chips, and computer chips have been hijacked by the Communist Party. Ask anybody in the military that works with any sort of intelligence or special operations or high class or classified information. They will tell you that tech is compromised 100%. Anything with a computer chip has shit built into it that is absolutely compromise us in more ways than you can imagine. So yes, they're very, very technologically advanced. Brittany saying, Josh, I feel like you need a nice massage. Message? A massage, yes. You're 100% right. I actually do. My shoulders are killing me from a pretty heavy lift 2 days ago. Yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Very, very tight. Native Americans can tell us about the fucks of my opinion. Amen, Josh. Dambria, thanks for that. And also, do this all night long. Gunpowder. Interesting. Mikey says electric guns have to be a thing. Yeah, they want everything electric because they could shut your ass down and they could record everything and they could fucking turn them on you, I guess. Mikey says, I'm so glad there's more men who think like you, Josh. There's a lot, Dambria. There's a lot more than you think. They just never get a voice. This shit will never catch wildfire. They'll never let it really take off like it should. Even if it catches wildfire, like you think it goes viral, it'll never go as viral as it actually could organically because they will silence it. Guaranteed. Why wouldn't they? They have full control over it. Why wouldn't they silence this stuff that's potentially harmful to their systems? Brody's saying kids come home thinking and believing their teachers are smart and schools constantly change. They do their work so you can't help your kids. Thus your kids thinking you're dumb. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe I read it wrong. But yes, that's definitely not doing any good for us. That's for sure. Oh, thanks, Mikey. Appreciate that. So sweet of you. Okay, let's see here. Government knows once they eliminate strong, hardworking men, the whole structure will fail. 100%. Nobody attacks women and children. You don't need to. I'm not saying nobody ever. That's not true. Nobody to take over. No hostile takeover. You know what they do when they hurt women and children? They ignite the men. And so they try to avoid that best they can. And so what they do is they destroy the men. Sometimes they don't. I don't know if you guys knew. You guys should look this up. What did Israel do to Palestine in the 80s? What are some of the nefarious things they did to try to take over Palestine? You know, everybody wants to vote for Israel, and I'm not going to take a political stance there because I'm not in the Middle East. I'm not in the East. I'm not in Israel. I'm in California, and I got some whiskey, and it's fucking good, man. That shit's good. So you just got to be really careful because look what they did to eliminate strong men. Look what Israel did to Palestine in the 80s to eliminate strong men so that they could take over Palestine, so that they can continue this journey. It's a lot more nefarious than people realize. Okay, let's see here. So Ryan saying you should do days where all electronics are put down and we sit in front of you and talk/debate in person. We say how bad it is and are now to watch, blah, blah. Yeah, I think in person is always better. And matter of fact, I do, if you're interested in this, I hold a class in the winter this time of year. Often it's tattoo related. Yes, it's about apprenticeships and learning how to be in the industry and all that. But it's also a debate to some degree. And we end up going over a lot of these things. It's really cool. So if you're ever interested in joining me in that, you should. Whether you're interested in the industry or not, it's a bunch of professional information that supersedes even other industries. So it'd be a great opportunity for that. But also, I do think something like that literally in person would be cool in the future. I'm sure you're not the only one who thinks that. Okay. Mikey's got a good point. He's saying, this is Josh's stream. You can message directly if you want a date. What's the Christmas party and gatherings he does? As for Ryan, what? I don't know what this means. Okay, let's keep going. Ryan says, I'd also leave very educated by Professor Farmer. You know, Professor is not a name I haven't heard before for sure. Actually, wished it was stuck because I thought it was cooler than Farmer, but I think Farmer's fine. Mikey's saying, I've seen videos of you shooting. Question, the 1911 45 ACP is the best pistol. He's saying, question, the 1911 is the best pistol. So that's your question. I definitely not. I don't know how you could debate that against today's modern firearms. I think the 1911 is archaic compared to today's modern firearms with less moving parts, lighter, easier to fix. There's a reason why 1911s are not issued to the military anymore. Not that the military has the best equipment, but it has to be reliable at large scale. And the Glock, I think, is absolutely superior. You can get Glock in 45. So I don't think 1911s by any means are not bad necessarily, especially if you get, a good company or something. But no, 1911's 45 ACP is definitely not the best pistol for sure. But also that's relative because best pistol for what? For doomsday scenarios, for modern day, for personal protection, for concealed carry. What are you using it for? That would matter kind of more. I don't think a 45 ACP 1911 would be the best thing to carry appendix unless you're like my size or something. I think if you're an average size guy, you're going to have a hard time concealing that. Stick to one. Matt got me a Virgin Mary grip for mine. That's cool. That's the cool thing about 1911s is 1911s are just classic. They're badass and you can make them beautiful. But I definitely don't think they're superior to modern. I don't think anybody thinks they're superior. Well, maybe some people do. Cool while shooting. 30, obviously. Glock just makes a great firearm, 100%. Okay. Brittany Alexis is saying, oh my God, get over yourself. Thanks, Brittany. And then she's saying my last comment was for Mikey, but you know what? It's kind of like it's for both of us because me and Mikey are brothers. So it is what it is. I got to the bottom of the comments. It's been an hour and 56 minutes. We got 15 of you watching. If there's anything you guys want me to bring up, talk about, or touch on right now, before we jump off, type it in now. You guys know I appreciate you, and this is super fun for me. 2 hours goes by so fast. I spent the evening already talking to a bunch of people at the mixer earlier today. And by the way, if you guys haven't seen Amber and you don't know anything about my assistant yet, I got to shout out to that girl. She is like on fire. This girl is like, I don't deserve this person in my life, to be honest with you. So if you guys don't know who Amber Graham is, my assistant slash now almost possibly piercer in the future. She wants to work in the shop as a piercer, but she's such a good assistant. She's not even a receptionist. This girl's, I can't say enough, but I want to publicly say that I thank her, and I got to spend time with her and her husband tonight at this mixer. It was wonderful. They're great people, and it was such a cool moment. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Actually, don't know why I got sidetracked on that other than I'm just super thankful. Oh, so talking to all the people earlier at the mixer was, I want to say taxing, but it's a lot of people, a lot of noise, and it's a lot of information at once. So I hope that I did okay tonight with you guys and that you enjoyed it. If you got something out of this, I think you should share it, talk about it, tell people, watch it. If you're not subscribed and you're watching this, that's super fucking weird. Just go to my YouTube and subscribe. That's how you really support this channel and what I'm doing. Facebook's great, but the thing is, Facebook doesn't give a shit about search engine opportunities and or video, likability or shareability or metrics whatsoever. Really, it doesn't give a shit about that. It actually hates that I pull you from Facebook to YouTube, so it hurts me a little from there. But go to YouTube and support me there. After the videos are done, guys, they're still up. You can share them. You can talk to people about them. You can go into the comment section. I know you guys have a lot of comments. I try always my best to see the videos even after they're already posted. It takes about 20, 30 minutes, I believe, after the live stream's over for them to be posted. But you can see them later and you can share them with people. You can tell them about it. You can comment in it. You can ask questions in the comment section even later. And don't be afraid to do that. I'm always looking for support on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. I hope you get something out of this too. So what I get out of it is your guys' support, and I appreciate that. But one step further is simply been spending time with me already. I got 54 hearts, 33 thumbs ups, tons of people watching tonight, 304 comments, right? You guys are really killing it. So if you're watching this, go subscribe to my channel, especially after it's over if you're from Facebook. Go subscribe to my channel and show some love. Let's get those numbers up and this kind of information. If you care about it, that's one way to get it to propagate. So let's do that. Mikey. I love Mikey. We should get Mikey on the show one day. You guys would absolutely adore him. He's not as tough as he sounds. Brody says, do you guys have an image picked for paint night? You know what? We haven't actually made it official, but it's, I believe, either going to be a Christmas tree or it's going to be a snowman. Either one's going to be fun. Maybe we could do both. Who knows? Barkett says, I love Amber. Shout out. She's absolutely awesome. Brody Jade agrees. Heidi's saying Amber is amazing. You're not wrong. I'm glad you guys have all got to meet her. Donna saying, do you do piercing at the shop now? Yes, there's a few people that do piercings. And also, Ambergram, if you want to give her an opportunity, any of you watching later or live now, Ambergram is awesome, and she's a very qualified person, especially to pierce, but she's still learning. So if you guys are interested or anybody knows somebody who's interested in getting pierced and maybe wants, to lend an ear, lend an ear or body part, something hopefully not too extreme, but something like nostrils or ears or, lobes, things like that are easy. So she's definitely needing more clients to show off her work, to build her portfolio. Not because she's not qualified, because she's learning a ton very quickly. She's very good at what she does. But she needs opportunities. So don't be afraid to reach out if you want some holes in your body. Drive safe. I think Christy's talking to me. Drive safe, 100% always. Oh my God, here comes Josh the businessman. Like and subscribe. That's the thing, is you got to like and subscribe to be able to support it. Otherwise, YouTube just thinks you guys hate me. That's just the truth. Brody says, always learning something new. It's what I look forward to on Wednesdays. Thank you, Brody. And I really absolutely appreciate it. Okay, so I think we got to the bottom. I don't see any new questions coming in, so I'm going to take that as my cue to be able to jump off after exactly 2 hours and 1 minute. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you a lot. Again, if you got something from the show specific that you guys want to slip into my DMs and let me know. If you want to support me on YouTube, that's how you do it. You literally comment, you share, you like it, you subscribe to it, whatever. Do all the things. You know what to do. This is 2023, almost 2024. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. It's going to be Wednesday, another hump day. It's before Christmas. It'll be the last Wednesday before the paint night. So if you have any questions, you can ask more then. But you should definitely come. Buy tickets at the shop. We're also going to have some merch. We're going to bring some of it for some of you that didn't get to see it already. Some of you haven't been in the shop since I've gotten the new shirts in, which is really cool. I might even have the hats. So it's like the first time I've had Artistic Freedom gear. So some of you have already bought it. I've been sending out a lot of it actually weekly. I've been making shipments. So anyway, we'll have that there. It'll be really fun. We're going to have the whole crew. It's going to be great. Some of you have been to it already, so you know, needless to say, it's going to be a great time. But buy tickets in store. That's the only time they'll be available. There will be nobody showing up at the door because we got to plan ahead of time. Mikey says this Brittany chick won't leave me alone. It's cool. Or is she cool? Yeah, Mikey, Brittany's super cool. Why wouldn't she be? But yeah, either way, you guys, thanks for being on here. And I think it was a good night. I hope and I pray that you guys have a great Christmas. If I don't see you before that, or if I don't see you after that or during it, or if you don't come to the paint night, I wish the best for you. And I hope tonight was wonderful. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Let's see if we can get some, can we get some outro music? Gosh, one of these days I'll just have like a guy in the corner doing this for me. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being on here. All of you that watched, all of it you liked, all that you commented. You did what you're supposed to do. You followed the rules and broke maybe a few of them too. Sounds like I made some love connections and spit a little bit of wisdom at least that you guys appreciated. So thank you very much. Love you all. Have a good night. Farmer out.
America, fuck yeah!
No, God! No, God, please, no!
America, fuck yeah!
You are fake news.
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
That's what she said.
Give me your